This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Relationships. I just love relationships. Friends, schmoopies, vendors, colleagues, bosses. Relationships are great because you get to interact with another person. And how do you know they're another person and not just your imaginary friend? Because they don't behave how you expect. They're different from you. They think differently. They react differently. They even smile differently. And that, sadly, is the problem with relationships as well. No matter how much we wish it were so, people just aren't mindless automatons behaving the way we want. Most of these mismatches aren't a problem as long as you know that they're coming. Indeed, you might love hearing Schmoopy's stories about that time with the dog and the porcupine and the 2-gallon jug of raspberry jam. You might laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. But please, couldn't it wait until not when you're in the middle of trying to write the concluding paragraph of your thesis? Set expectations in a relationship up front. When you start a new relationship, whether it's a boss or a schmoopy or a colleague or a friend, or when you check in on an existing one, or when you quietly decide not to quit your job this week, have a conversation where you set expectations about how you'll conduct your relationship. These are called process conversations because you're designing the process that you'll use to run your relationship. While process conversations don't guarantee smooth sailing, they can help you deal with predictable relationship issues in advance, and you can be sure there are plenty of predictable relationship issues. How do we communicate? How does someone prefer to communicate? In this glorious age of information technology, true communication has never been more difficult. We're overwhelmed from all sides. We mostly use text, which is extremely inefficient and lacks emotional cues, and frankly, most of us can't write. And we all have 24 inboxes. One person might consider texting to be an extreme invasion of privacy. Another might want all communication to happen via text. Often, a person will have multiple communication platforms and use them for different things. Agree on which communication medium to use for casual communication, which to use for emergencies, and which to use for event planning. How do you like to receive feedback? Being friends or colleagues, we of course want to give each other helpful advice. Those pants you wore to the art opening last night? I know you love spandex, but sometimes you might want to choose your clothing based on criteria other than stretchability. Some people like feedback blunt. Some like it diplomatically. Some like it in writing. And some like it sent by text message. Some even like it by voice. How 20th century is that? Agree on how you like to receive feedback. Do you want it blunt? Do you want it diplomatic? And over what medium? How do you work best? If you're like me, you work best when you're surrounded by friends and colleagues laughing and talking and having a great time, and then shutting up completely for 19 consecutive hours until my current project is done, at which time we can all laugh and talk and have a great time again. Other people like to laugh and interact the whole time. Still others like to lock themselves in a cabin in Antarctica and only emerge once every 6 months. Establish respect for and understanding of each other's work habits early in a relationship, so that you can both get the most done and also get the most out of your relationship. How much checking up on do you need? When I first started working with intern MG, I called him a week before a deadline to see how things were progressing. He almost bit my head off for doubting that he would turn in his deliverable on time. He's not a man to be micromanaged. Contrast this with my artist friend, Sparkles. Sparkles lives in the moment, very, very in the moment. If Sparkles is working on a project, I need to check in every couple of days to make sure that things aren't running wildly late and that Sparkles hasn't gotten completely distracted by something very shiny like a unicorn. Most people have a good sense of how closely they need to be managed. Ask and share, and when you do work together, you'll be able to hit the right balance for each other. What's your decision-making style? Some people like to have their hand in every pot. If there's a decision to be made, they want in, whether or not they're qualified to have an opinion on the decision. Other people prefer to have decision-making done by others, and most of us are in between. Sometimes we want to be part of the process, sometimes we don't. Discuss how you like to be involved in decisions. When Schmoopy and I are planning a vacation to Montreal, my decision-making style is easy. I say, you make the decisions, it's a holiday, I do not want to deal. Schmoopy then makes all the decisions. When we're planning the house finances, however, it's a very different story. I say, we make decisions together, responsibly, taking into account our retirement plans, our income from the year, and our savings rates. Then, Schmoopy takes out a second mortgage to pay for the presidential suite accommodations on the trip to Montreal. As you can see, reaching agreement on decision-making style can have tremendous implications for retirement. saying you're sorry. 50 years ago in the movie Love Story, Ali MacGraw's character Jennifer says, "Love means never having to say you're sorry." Love Story was fiction. Plus, Jennifer dies. Who's sorry now, Ali? Who's sorry now? Every relationship is made much more efficient if you just start apologizing on day one and keep apologizing for everything. If the other person says, you apologize too much, apologize for that. Eventually, they'll write you a very big check to go away and stop bothering them. But while you're still together, find out the other person's apology language. And then you know how to apologize so they can actually hear it as an apology. For details on the 5 apology languages, check out Get It Done Guy episode 351. Go out, propose, and have that initial conversation. Because when should you set this up? Now. Sometime early in a new relationship, have the process conversation. Don't say, let's have a process conversation. Most people will look at you like you've lost your mind. Although, the ones who jump at the chance will probably be great fun to work with. Instead, introduce the topic casually. You know, I like to be able to be the best boss, friend, coworker, employee, schmoopy, whatever the relationship is, that I can. Would you object to that? If they say yes, they object, then that's important information that you can use. Run, fast, far away. Otherwise, say, great, and then ask them about the various things we've been discussing. You may wonder if you can start a process conversation just like that. Yes, you can. Go do it. Whether you're getting a new boss, becoming a new boss, getting new coworkers, starting up with a new boyfriend, girlfriend, intersex friend, husband, wife, or polyamorous family unit, a process conversation up front can help it get off and stay off to a great start. Ask about communication channels, feedback, micromanagement, decision-making, and apologies. Pretty soon, you'll have a handbook to the relationship that will make it easy to have a great time together, putting your attention squarely on the agenda the two of you share. I'm Steve Robbins. I like blunt feedback delivered very kindly, and my apology language is acts of service. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook, and if you have projects that are stalled or taking too long, check out my Get It Done Group's accountability groups. Learn more at steverrobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. You'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.